We are at Aztalan State Park, the Crawfish River. Now there's some structure and rocks and stuff. Hopefully there's some fish there. We're mainly going to be bottom fishing because there's not a lot of room to actually weave in. I will probably do some cast baits before it gets dark, but we're going to try to get a big fish here. Crawfish River again. Hopefully it's as good as that other place. Well, now that I have a shrimp and a worm out, I'm gonna actually toss the curly tail grub. Now this place honestly does not look all that great for fishing, and I can tell just from the grub it's actually really shallow here. So hopefully we can actually get something. This is a boat ramp. It's a couple of feet lower than where it usually is. You can see by the logs over there, it's quite shallow over here. But hopefully we can get some fish. Now this place, like I said, does not actually look fishy, but I have been wrong before. I should probably just be fishing Jefferson, which is like 5 miles from here, or even Koshkonong Creek, which is like 10 miles from here at Cambridge. But I really like exploring new places. That's one of my goals in terms of fishing. And yeah, so that's why we're actually here fishing this place, not because this place looks amazing for fishing, it doesn't, but because I like to explore new areas. That's part of the fun of fishing, in my opinion. It is very, very shallow here. I'm guessing the water in the middle is probably no more than 3-4 feet at the most, if even that. So as Aztalan, obviously the deeper water is on the other side. So as soon as I slung my bait all the way over there, I get a bite, like immediately get a bite. It feels like a drum though, because it wouldn't surprise me if it was a drum. It does not feel that heavy, but the deeper water is definitely over there. Actually, it doesn't feel super light, but it's probably like a 1-pound drum. See what it is? Yep, it's a 1-pound drum, just like I thought. Small, freshy drum. Yeah, so the water is like way, way deeper over on that side, so that's where we're going to be slinging the bait. Very familiar sight. A freshwater drum. First fish of the day, all the way over on the other side. You want to sling as far as possible at Aztalan, because all the deep water is over there. Immediately when I slung over, freshwater drum. All right, drum, you get to go swim to the other side again, to where all your friends are, because that is where the deep water is. So there you go, drum. It's confused. Drum are always like that. It's fine. It's only been out for like 1 minute, but it can't turn around. There you go, it's turned around. And now it's back in the water. This may prove to be somewhat of a challenge because I can't actually sling all the way to the other side with the shrimp or my bigger baits. The current I can tell is swifter over on the other side as well, but I can just tell by the reeling back that it is like significantly deeper over there. So that's why that drum hit pretty much instantly when I actually slung to the other side, because the deeper water is over there and that's probably where all the fish are actually hiding. But we can't get over onto the other bank, unfortunately, because there's no way over there. A bunch of forest, not too much over there. So can't do that. So hopefully, as we get later into the day, we'll have more luck. After exploring the shoreline, I found like 2 or 3 other places downstream that are probably better than this one, but it is kind of late and I want to stay next to my car for today. I did just get another hit. It's like 2 hours later, and I think it's just another drum. So let's see. I think, oh, my other line just got hit too, and it's not because it's tangled on this one. So both my lines are getting hit. Is that a drum? Yep, I got 2. Yep, that's a drum. That is another freshwater drum. Didn't deep hook at least, but I've got 2 hits all of a sudden. So no hits for 2 hours, and then drum number 1 lifted, about the same size, slightly bigger than the first one I caught today. Another drum. I wish there was like gigantic drums here, but that does not seem to be the case. So let's get this thing off. I know the fish that were jumping were not drum, because drum don't really jump. See you, drum. We're at another part of Aztalan today. This is more of a muddier bank, as you can see down there. Hopefully this place has more fish, but if we'll probably go, as the day goes later, we'll probably go back to the boat ramp because it's closer to the car, but I want to see if there's any more fish here. Yesterday we did get actually quite a few bites at dusk, but I think they were all bowfin, so I didn't really bring any of them up. Well, I pulled a couple of them, but they all like broke free of the hook. So let's see if we can get anything here. To get to this place, this is like by the second, you take this path down straight from the second mound. And there's a couple of paths like near the fort area. So that's how you get here. Let's see if we can get any fish. Not nearly as rocky and snaggy here as the other place, which is pretty good. Might want to try to throw a hot dog out later. I'm pretty sure that would not get bit right now though. I don't think it's that much deeper here. There are still some rocks here. I can feel the bottom. I don't really think it's that much deeper here, so I might want to tie on a bigger hook and throw across. I think this place will actually yield me more fish than the other place, hopefully. But like I said, we're gonna move over to the other place towards like the end of the day. So hopefully this place will actually deliver. I got some pretty good baits on the line. This muddy bottom, I mean, there should be carp here if not anything else. And there are snags here, but it's not nearly as rocky as the other place. Definitely got a fish here. It came off. Dang it, all these stupid fish are coming off. What the heck? I'm pretty sure these fish are bowfin because they bite just about everything. I've caught plenty of them on worms, but they don't hook up well and they almost always get off. Unfortunately, I'm using a bigger hook, but they seem to want to bite the smaller hooks more, even though the bigger hooks have more bait. It's kind of annoying, honestly. Really kind of annoying, and I can't seem to get any bluegill here either. So some of you might be wondering, why don't I set the hook? It's because I'm using circle hooks on my bottom baits, and I use them because the chance is better that it doesn't deep hook, so it doesn't kill as many fish. Now, there are some species like bullheads and drums a lot of the time where, it doesn't really help all that much, but for a lot of species it does actually help. Also, it's kind of annoying, but I think the fish essentially bite the forehooks, but the forehooks always come off. I'm using a 1/0 on the other pole, but they don't seem to want to bite it, even if that has bigger bait. I think my 4 just got tapped again. Yeah, my 1/0's not even getting visited. Got something on the curly-tailed grub. Got something on the curly. I think it's a small. Oh, it's a small walleye. Walleye. Non-drum fish. I think a lot of the small jumping splashes are walleye, so this actually may be a really, really good place for wallies. Small walleye. One day I will catch a monster walleye, but that day does not seem to be today. A small walleye. Oh, well, there you go, walleye. Back in the water. Hang on. Basically, he just jumped out. There we go. That's a lot better. If those are indeed walleye that are biting my bait, like they bit my curly-tailed grub, those are really big walleye, and I want one. But the stuff that's biting my bottom bait did not feel like a walleye. If that was a walleye, that was like a 5-pound walleye, and I want a 5-pound walleye because that would be pretty awesome. Some fish that keeps annihilating my worm bait, but just basically always comes off the hook. They strike once, it just bounces forward, and then they're not on the hook anymore. I don't know what the heck they are. I think they're bowfin. Either that or they're walleye. If they're walleye, they're really, really big walleye, and I want one. But I've caught a small walleye with a curly-tailed grub. Now I'm trying to use a mimic minnow to catch another walleye. I had bowfin trouble on other areas of the crawfish as well, so I'm guessing that's what they are, but you don't know until you actually catch one, and I have not yet caught one. I got one. I got something. It's small though. It's not big. Is it another small walleye? Yeah, it's another small walleye. No, it's a gato fish. It's a channel gato fish, a very small one. Threw off my worm though, so I'm gonna have to get a new worm. A channel gato fish. Second species of the day, not bad at all. It's a channel gato fish, a very small channel gato fish, but nonetheless, a channel gato fish. You know, if I don't have much luck, I'm gonna start using these things as baits because you can use small channels as baits, but we're gonna keep using worms because that's what's actually being hit right now. Gato fish, see ya. Just as I was reeling that one in, this one finally got a hit. This one's a significantly bigger fish. I think this might be the fish I'm looking for, the fish that keeps on throwing my hook, and it just threw my hook again. What the heck? What do I have to do for this fish? It didn't throw my hook, it just broke my hook. What the heck? That is absolutely ridiculous. It didn't throw my hook, it broke my hook. Whatever fish this is, it's really powerful. It's not a gato fish, look at that. It broke my hook. That is absolutely ridiculous. I definitely think I need a bigger hook. Using bigger hooks now, because that just broke my hook, and that was a number 1 hook. So the number 4 stands no chance against a fish like that. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a gato fish because I've hooked really big gato fish before and they do not break hooks. Not really sure what that was. Could have been a bowfin. It's actually what I think it was, but it could have also been like a carp. I have had carps pull straight my hooks. I've never had a carp break my hook like that, but I've had carps like, I definitely have had carps turn my hook straight before, once or twice. Not very often, but I don't think those are carps because carps always hook. And a lot of times those guys just don't hook at all. We know there's wallies here, there's a couple of gatos here, and hopefully we can figure out what the hell that was. The storm clouds over there are looking ominous. The storm's obviously approaching from that side. Over there, it looks perfectly fine, but hopefully it passes over and crosses the other side because I don't want to leave. I'm going to leave here, just hide out in my car because the storm's only slated for like a couple of minutes. But since this bank is like so small, if there's any rise in water, it's gone. So gonna have to make do with what we got. So the smaller hooks hook like that, but they don't actually, they don't stick. The larger hooks don't hook at all. So I have a dilemma, but I got a fish here. This is one of the heavier ones. It's not the super heavy one, but it's definitely one of the, I think it's a drum. The problem with the one hook is like, then you get the drums and you don't get the gigantic fish of death that I'm really looking for. Is this a drum? No, I don't think it's a drum actually. Oh no, it's a gato fish. It's a more significant gato fish. There are a lot of gato fish here. That's good. Maybe I'll get a giant one. I actually want a giant fish of greater gato-ness. So that is a gato fish. There's catfish here, and that's good news. This is not the monster fish I was looking for, but it's a nice gato fish. See a gato fish. Pretty sure I got another carp on this one. I told you, like, carps don't really come off. They fight really hard, but this one doesn't feel that heavy actually. But generally they don't really come off the hook all that often. I mean, I think I've had it pull once or twice, but and this fish, the carp is fighting a lot different from the earlier fish that basically just stole my bait. This is like 100% a carp. You can tell by the way it fights. Is that a carp? Or is that a buffalo or something? No, it's a carp. No, it's not a, well, it's kind of a weird, nah, it's a common. It's like, could it be a hybrid? No, it's a common carp, just of a slightly different color. There's a lot of these here. And like I said, like the ones that hooked here, they don't really break my hooks. They don't really fall off. Once they hook, they're good. But the other fish didn't hook, and it always throws the hook. All right, carp, you're coming in. You are coming in. You're gonna splash me with that mud too, but you're coming in. There you go, common carp. Common carp. Common carp, probably 3 pounds or so. Not that big. It got really muddy because this is a really muddy bank and it fought like crazy with me bringing it in. Common carp, mud carp. Oh, I think this is like the 3rd species of the day. Pretty fun day so far. All right, see ya, carp. There are a lot of random fish here that are biting and you don't really know what you're gonna catch. Got a carp, got a catfish, and I got a walleye. There's actually stuff biting my swim bait too, but there's so many like, oh my God, that's probably a carp. My line's gonna get tangled. That's probably a carp. All right. I need to tighten the drag on this. Yeah, I'm guessing the bigger fish that got my line was probably a carp. There's so many of them, but that's weird because like that fish, realistically, like, yeah, that fish just basically destroyed my hook. And you can see these carps, they don't come off. And those fish actually came off, so I still have my doubts of what that was. Okay, that just came off because it got stuck on a branch. This place honestly has been pretty good. I mean, we got several carps. I actually still don't think, even though the carp's a bit twice, the fish that broke my hook was an actual carp because it was fighting very, very different from how carps usually fight. Because carps like here, they just take the bait and then they just run. But that one was like pretty subtle. And then when a carp hits and it pulls, it like tries to drag the entire pole in the water. That one was like a little bit of a tug. And then when it got close to the shore, it kind of broke the surface for a little bit, jumped a little bit, and then threw the hook. Carps rarely ever throw my hook unless they get me caught in like a snag or something. That's the only way they escape, like that last one. These fish that have been just stealing the bait basically just like throw my hook every time when they jump. Not really sure, still not sure what they are. Well, now I'm back home. Couldn't figure out what that fish was. I know I had several other bites on the worm that came off too, and those are way too small to be carp. I think those are actually bigger walleye. So that might be a really good place for a walleye when the water's low. That place I was fishing the second day, the mud bank, that will completely disappear after the rains this week because there's only a couple of inches left and it's only available when the water is low. Same thing with the boat ramp. A lot of that boat ramp's actually covered underwater when the water's high. So Aztalan is a good place to fish, but only when the water is fairly low. I probably will go back there late in the summer when the water is low to actually do another shot there because I don't think many people fish there. I didn't really see that many or any really jigs or wires that were actually stuck there. And on the social media apps, there were no actual fish logs there either. So, and the 2 days I was there, I saw no one else actually fishing there. So I think like I'm one of the few people that fish there. Most people either fish like upstream or at Jefferson. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.